The preseason is here. NHL hockey is here. And why not start with the Leafs versus Senators? Game 1, Game 2, back to back, Squad 1, Squad 2 at Scotiabank Arena. All right, let's break this down. Here we go. So let's start with Game 1 because Game 1 came before Game 2. First off, the milk ad on the jerseys, I'm fine with it. It doesn't detract from anything. In the game, it didn't detract from anything. And really, it just reminded me of my childhood. You remember Doug Gilmour where he had like the black and white legs, the cow legs? Yeah, I'm fine with it. It's kind of like nostalgia a bit. But in game, you didn't even notice it. Just like the ads on the helmets eventually just became part of it. Do I want ads all over the jerseys? Heck no. But that little one, top right corner, nah, that's fine. So in this game, the stars of this game, you had Marner and Nylander playing. And then for Ottawa, you had the big line, right? You had DeBrincat, you had Stützle, and you had Giroux. You got the young guy Sanderson playing there. In net was Talbot. Toronto had Shalgren. But from puck drop, Marner and Nylander just looked substantially better than everyone out there. Everyone on the ice, Nylander and Marner were much better. You could just tell they're just another gear ahead of everyone else. In terms of defense for the Leafs, there's some big guys on the Leafs team, defensively and offensively. And to be fair, their skating was more fluid than I expected. Their cuts were a lot better than I expected. However, there was some untimely decisions that just wouldn't work. There is a big gap between the expected D and everyone else. However, I was pleasantly surprised about their movement out on the ice. But again, they're young. Some of them are young. The decision making, some poor turnovers there this game. But ultimately, you can work on that, right? They're going to get seasoning in the AHL or wherever they end up. Just not on the Leafs. What I also loved here for the Toronto Maple Leafs is just how they used the center lane to break out. It was just as simple as the dish off to the boards, and you just have the centerman or defenseman coming back through the middle. It's just a little bump to them, a la, like soccer, right? Or football, where you have that holder and someone comes through and it's just a pass off. The Leafs did that really well in the breakout today, especially in Game 1. And it was noticeable how easy it was for them to transition out of their own zone. That's what I want to see. And if you're already doing that now in Game 1, now, granted, the pressure wasn't as intense as, playoffs and all that and regular season, but everyone's finding their footing. It was still clean transitions, clean breakouts. Just really nice to see from all four lines. And speaking of all four lines, I thought they played well in this game. Attack was there, forecheck was there. Some of them just decided to do their own little thing. AKA Nylander probably could have had 3 goals in the first 10 minutes, just flying through guys. Marner had a big chance at the beginning as well. But what I really liked is, if there wasn't something there or they needed a line change, they weren't afraid to regroup. And I think that's because the transition out of their own zone was so smooth. They were just able to do that versus Ottawa, and I really liked that they took advantage of it. Anyway, let's just get on to the game. Like I said, Nylander could have had 3 goals just in that first period, and the first period was the Leafs. Nylander had chance after chance. He fed up a nice backdoor after holding the puck for ages. Marner had a great chance. Tavares set him up there on the power play. And just like Leafs fashion, they're down 1-0. It's a little misplay at their own blue line, and Stützle has more foot speed than Giordano. He scores over Shalgren's blocker, and it's 1-0. And you know what? Speaking of Stützle, that line of Giroux and DeBrincat are going to be fantastic this year. The money that Stützle got, yeah, I think it's going to be a great deal for the Senators. And with Stützle, he gets $8+ million. Giroux, career resurgence with Ottawa. DeBrincat's going to get paid. I still don't understand what Chicago's thinking. The guy's under 25 and he can get 30 to 40 goals every year. Like, he looked good today. Not Nylander, good, but he looked good today. I just don't get the Hawks at all. It makes no sense. Second period, it's all Leafs in my opinion. 4-on-4, 5-on-5, just from the get-go, all Leafs. And, who scores first? Justin Hall. Justin Hall snipes. Top glove, goes down low, supports. Puck comes back around to him. He fires it, wrist shot, top corner. Brilliant. Later on in the game, Nylander doing Nylander things again, just making things look easy. Holds it for that extra half second, feeds it to Malgin, who he looked good. He looked good with Engvall hurt. Malgin, he's got he's got some speed in there. He's got good hands, good vision. Not afraid to hold on to the puck if he needs to. He can be a little bit feisty down there, smaller. So complete opposite of the height that Engvall has, but he might be able to fit into a line maybe with Nylander and Tavares, because he looked good. He finished off a great feed by Nylander. And then Giordano, he fires one off the sideboards, hits off Steve's, off his foot or leg or hip. He drove the net. He scored. That made it 3-1. Heck, Steve scored again in the third period to make it 4-1. And it felt good. It felt good. I was worried, obviously, because I'm a Leafs fan, but going down 1-0, and then the Leafs just powered back. They, in my opinion, dominated the game. And Shalgren looked good. Shalgren looked good. So at the end of the game, it's a 4-1 win, and Giordano has 3 assists. Hall has a goal and 2 assists. Nylander dominates. Marner, just shoot the puck, please. Remember, this is what we want you to do. 30, 40 goals, you can do it. Come on. And Malgin, I thought had a great game. It was really, really nice. The passion is back. Speaking of passion, how great was hearing Cuthbert's voice out there? Just, it's been missed. It's been missed. So we go on to the evening, and it's game 2. And this one didn't go as well. Not saying it was a terrible game by the Leafs by any standpoint. It was just that they lost 4-2. There was an empty netter there. It was a blown lead in the third period. There was some positives, though. I didn't get to see all the game. I saw bits and pieces of it, and it's mainly through highlights because I had the privilege of finally going to headed to Toronto, went to Pearson, picked up my wife and son. They've been in the UK for the past month, so yeah, they beat out the Leafs on this occasion. So majority of I saw bits and pieces of the game, and then the rest is just through highlights and then through messages I got from friends who were watching the game. So here we go, game 2. And because it was just bits and pieces and mainly highlights, from the highlights, come on, let's be honest, I normally favor the Leafs anyway, but it looked like the Leafs were the better team. Yarncroc got a goal off a feed by Matthews. And then from literally the exact same spot, got his second goal off a feed from Bunting. Yarncroc, Matthews, and Bunting looked good. They did. Samsonov went 16 for 16 in 40 minutes of play. Riley was playing out there as well. Brody was playing. I was like, okay, cool. Leafs are up 2-0. This is obviously watching the highlights. And then you go into the third period, and it's a goal, and a goal, and a goal. And do I blame Petruzzelli? No. First goal, you know what? That happens. The second goal was just great pass by Shabbat to Norris. Good shot. Tight corner there. And then the third goal, it was just Mete losing his position and getting beat by a bigger man. They make it 3-2. Heck, Yarncroc almost scored with 44 seconds left to tie it 3-3, send it into OT, and get a hat trick in his Leafs debut. I know it's a preseason, but it's still his debut. But there are positives this game. One, Bunting, Yarncroc, and Matthews looked good out there. Matthews had some chances. He didn't score, but he had some point-blank chances. There were some big saves by Forsberg on the other end. Samsonov looked calm, cool, collected. He's an RFA after this year. This is a show-me year for him. I'm really pumped that the Leafs got him, and I thank the Capitals for letting him go. I know he hasn't had the best last 2 years, but still went 25-12. Maybe not the best goals against average or save percentage, but the guy can win. Not tonight, but it wasn't him. He had the lead going in, so he doesn't even take the loss, I don't think. Bunting, I think he's going to be on a tear again. He'll be looking for a big money contract. He'll probably be looking for Mikheyev plus money. And that Yarncroc signing already looks good after one preseason. I know it might be too early to say this, but I don't care. It's a great pickup. So what have we learned today from these two games? Or I guess last night from these two games. One, Nylander can dominate a game whenever he chooses. Problem is, it's whenever he chooses. Marner is going to be great, and he's going to be hunting for 100 points. Matthews will be up there again. Bunting is still going to be his tenacious self. Yarncroc is a great pickup. Leafs got to figure out who that other D is going to be. Do they sign Sandin? So I don't know if Ben or Mete are those people, especially with Liljegren out. Malgin shows that he has potential in there. Especially with Engvall out, so maybe he could step in. You never know, right? Nick Ritchie was number one on the first line after whatever training camp last year and preseason, and look how long that lasted. So you never know. Leafs still struggle to hold leads, especially against Ottawa. However, breakouts looked smooth in that first game. Transition was good, and there was some dominant play. And really, they use these to identify gaps in the system, identify gaps in player development, and then you use the season to work at it. It's the learning journey, as they say. And hopefully that learning journey finishes off with the Leafs winning the Stanley Cup. We haven't lost a regular season game yet, so there's still hope. There's still hope. In reality, though, I didn't get to see much of Game 2, if like tidbits. So if you have better insight, please comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on Game 2. Hockey's back. Leafs are back. Go Leafs, go. I love hockey. Take care, everyone.